Chapter 24. For the traveler, it is his home, his center, which will assign meaning to life. Home will help to make sense of the journey long after it has finished. I want to shout a million things at the top of my lungs, but I can't make a single sound. I won't. My head spins. What's going on with Dax and Shapri right now? Why did he call her Simmy? I don't need to wait long for those answers, because the two carry on their conversation as if no one else is around. Why have you done this? You're not bad. The young cherry-dipped Shapri asks in a somber tone. I didn't mean to kill you. It was an accident. The tennis ball. My body slumps into the ground and I drop my cane. Why are we talking about the future like it's the past? It's okay. You didn't know what your mind could do, Shapri says with tenderness. I only thought it was for a second. I swear. I just wanted you to be quiet for a little while. Dax hurries through his words and then breaks off in a fit of sobs. His crying does sound like a whole lot different than his usual laughter. Both are violent and upsetting. Simmy, jeez. Simmy, jeez, be quiet. I remember hearing the boy who sounded like Brady, but wasn't Brady, yelling on the first day of school. The pieces start clicking into place. Telling me you're sorry. I'm not mad. I'm happy where I am. It's nice. There's always sunshine. Shapri's timbre lightens. Mother and father, they think I killed you. They sent me away. Dax argues through tears. I know. I've tried to tell them, but they can't hear my voice above the quiet. They don't believe, so they won't listen. Oh, God, Simmy, what have I done to you? Dax screams in anguish. I almost feel sorry for the guy. What happened to me was an accident. But about all this, the scent of cherries dance around us as Shapri sweeps her arms to indicate the sleeping bodies and broken zoo exhibits. That was an accident, too. I was scared. He was coming for me. I didn't know what to do. I assume I'm the he in question. I've been watching Alex. He's good. He won't hurt you. Trust him and learn to control your power so they will always control you. You're meant to help the world, not hurt it. Shapri rises. As she's saying this, her voice looms a couple of feet above my head. I said what I needed to say. Now I need to give this girl her body back. Remember, I love you, and I'm always watching out for you. Don't leave again. Don't leave me again. Please. Dax whimpers, trying to find his feet. But he collapses back onto the pavement with a series of scrapes and thuds. Shapri's voice falls back to the ground, and she chokes again. The cherries are replaced by fresh mown grass. She speaks as if awakening from a deep sleep. Did she help? I didn't want to, but she wouldn't leave me alone. More than anybody else could have. More than anybody else could have. Good going, Dad says, slapping Shapri on the back. Where's my Simone? Dax asks in a strained whisper. Why did you send her away? When Dax's little sister leaves. When Dax's little sister leaves. When Dax's little sister leaves, the gravity of the situation hits us. We've got a whole zoo to put back together. And a few severely injured people to take care of. Dad returns to the crowd he's put together and starts organizing some kind of cleanup crew. Simi continues to hum in the background. Shapri, Dax, and I are left sitting together on the paved walkway, the scene of our recent seek. Is that an accent? E-K? Oh, of our recent seance. I'm sorry for causing all this trouble, Dax says, once he's regained his composure and a bit of strength. I honestly thought you were the bad guy, that you were coming to hurt me. That doesn't explain why you would endanger so many people. That doesn't explain why you would endanger so many people, I snarl. I can't wait to return to Grandin and place this guy as far from Simi and me as possible. I thought if I appeared strong and crazy and confident, you would be scared and go away, Dax says, continuing the conversation that I'm trying my best not to have. So many people have been trying to hurt me lately. I thought you were one of them. I was scared. I grumble, yeah, well, you were right to be scared. Give him a chance, Shapri interjects. I know how hard it is when you're scared, when you're trying to run away. Thank you, Dax says, reaching out to touch Shapri. Jealousy overflows from within me, and I hit his hand away. Shapri sighs, but doesn't say anything. I think she understands, even if, for whatever crazy reason, she doesn't agree with my actions. She doesn't agree with my actions. I know I'll need to work hard to own your trust, and I'm willing to do that. Meet me halfway at least, I snort. The anger is too fresh, Besides, I don't think we can put all of this behind us, ever. It's kind of a big deal when someone tries to kill you and the people you love. Dad walks up to us with 2 other people, and both of whom smell like sausages. Dax, are you feeling strong enough to help out? Dax must have indicated an agreement. Non-verbally. Because Dad continues. This is... I don't know, Velodia, and Nikolai. They're telekinetic too, and they're going to help you put the animals back. Dad extends a hand to Dax and pulls him to his feet. The 4 move off together, leaving Shapri and me by ourselves. I believe him, Shapri says, when the others are out of earshot. She still sounds exhausted. I start to protest, but Shapri doesn't let me. I know it's gotta be hard for you. You saw so much more than any of the rest of us. And even based on what we saw, it's hard. But I really do believe him. I sigh and fall back on the pavement in frustration. Shapri strokes my arm, but she doesn't have calming electricity in her skin like Simi. His sister's been talking to me for weeks. She's told me lots about him, and what he's telling us is true. He was acting out of fear. He's not a bad person. Everyone else seems to be willing to forgive Dax. They all want to make excuses for him. But why do they let everything else I've seen about Dax go so easily? Hello? He let a bunch of animals out of their cages, used others as weapons, and endangered the entire city. You can't just explain that away with, I was scared. What's going on now? I asked Shapri after a few minutes of turning thoughts over in my brain. Well, she says, lying down next to me on the concrete, they're cleaning up. Tell me more, I urge. Your dad and Dax and a bunch of your psychic people are using whatever powers they've got to put everything back to the way it was. Other psychics? Yeah, they did fall asleep when Simi started to hum. Everyone else, they didn't. Yeah. They didn't fall asleep when Simi started to hum. Everyone else did, including my mom. She's over by the butterfly house, just sleeping through it all. Can you believe it? I laugh, picturing Mystique's reaction when she learns that she missed out on this, just like she missed out on having all the gifts of her own. Part of me feels bad for her. There are people walking around, putting their hands over the sleeping people's heads. My guessing is that they're wiping their memories. But I don't know how they're going to explain that lapse in time. Or the manipulated giraffes. We're back at our motel. Dax is with us despite my mishavings. misgivings. Dad's been checking in throughout the day to read his mind, and has, quote, only uncovered the best of intentions. Shapri and Simi back him up when their respective powers suggest he's not being the villain I still think he is. At least Simi is safe. One vision was a giant case of mistake identity, and the other was, prevented today. The three of us who aren't conjured are treating the three of us who are. Shapri applies a stinging antiseptic to my nose, which is most definitely broken. Dad places ice packs on Dax's swollen body. Mystique chants and spoon feeds Simi restorative tea, having to use her powers for so long over such a large range has completely depleted Simi. I say she should take a monster, but Dad yells at me, and even suggesting the idea. Mystique's sweet singing and ordinary everyday powers of being mom ease us to sleep. Of being a mom ease us all to sleep. The nightmares are completely gone, but I still have a tugging feeling that something's not right. Waking up gradually, I hear Dad carrying on a conversation with Mystique out on the patio. The similarities are shocking, she says. What do you think it means? I'm still trying to figure out what Alex connected to Dax in the first place, Dad said. He must be a magnet, too, but the strength of their connection is like nothing I've ever seen before. Mystique says in a hushed voice, what should we do? His family's disowned him. He's all alone, Mystique says with the same tenderness she uses when talking about Shapri. And if we leave him, his powers might lead to more accidents. He needs to be taught. It's our responsibility. The universe has ordained it. Yeah, I get it, Dad says. I can't tell if he's eager or annoyed. Then he's coming to Grandin with us.